Good morning, dear children. So, today we are going to do the fifth chapter of Hornbill, that is the Ailing Planet, the Grief Moment's Role by NANI PALKHIVALA. And in today's video, we will be covering half of the chapter only. And this time, I'm not going to give you the summary, this time, I'm going to explain the whole chapter. So, please be ready with your textbooks, keep your textbooks while watching the video or listening to the video. So, this particular chapter, as the title suggests, the ailing planet. Ailing means the planet which is ill, and here we are talking about our own planet on which we live, that is the Earth, and we are sole responsible for making our planet ill. So, this chapter mainly focuses on the factors that are responsible for the declining health of the Earth. And so, let's see the introduction of the chapter. This chapter is an article written by Nani Palkiwala and was published in the Indian Express on 24th November 1994. The issues raised in this article are relevant to this day, and the main focus of the article is on the declining health of planet Earth. The whole concept of coexistence is questioned, and the issues of depletion of the environment are highlighted. This article gives various details about the Green Movement, which played a major role in addressing this issue. It is very relevant, and the topics discussed to show how the human race is dominating on Earth and has left no or little place for other species. The entire article is based on different committees framed for the betterment of the planet as a whole. Now it has become a very serious issue because see what the way we are just exploiting the resources of our planet. Just ponder upon it, think upon it, that what we are going to leave for our future generation, because our ancestors haven't given us the planet like this. Am I right? Theme of the chapter, the article The Ailing Planet, the Green Movement's Role, discusses various environmental issues. It was written in 1994 but is relevant to this day due to the continuous deterioration in the health of the planet Earth. This article shows Earth as an ailing patient whose condition is getting critical day by day, and the sole reason behind it is we human beings. It also focuses on the activities of human beings which contribute to the depletion of the environment. You will learn about the green movement and its role in conserving the environment. There is also a focus laid on the human race being the most dangerous and destructive force in the world. A large number of species are there on the earth, and everyone has an equal right to live on this planet. But the point is raised about the domination of the human race over the species. That means the increase in population is not letting the other species to survive in on this planet. The concept of coexistence is lost. These there are industrialization, urbanization, and modernization at the cost of a healthy environment. So for industrialization, urbanization, and modernization, what we are doing, we are just cutting down the trees, and then we are building factories, we are building huge buildings, skyscrapers, and we are just making our planet. This article also highlights the fact and statistics about the trees being cut and the growing deforestation, either to acquire land or for the purpose of industrialization. The chapter brings to light various important yet neglected issues which might cause devastation if not addressed immediately. In this chapter, you will understand the importance of conserving natural resources and how this planet is a place to live for everyone and not just humans alone. It brings the true yet harsh reality of the destruction by human beings in the name of modernization and improvement. The article also talks about the problem of overpopulation, which is also responsible for the imbalance in the environment. So let's start with the chapter. The following article was written by Nani Palkiwala and published in the Indian Express on 24 November 1994. The issues that he raised regarding the declining health of the earth continue to have relevance. That means till date, he talked about it in 1994, but it is relevant today because day by day the condition of the earth is deteriorating. So one cannot recall any movement in world history which has gripped the imagination of the entire human race so completely and so rapidly as the green movement, which started nearly 25 years ago. In 1972, the world's first nationwide Green Party was founded in New Zealand. Since then, the movement has not looked back. So, gripped here means hold, and grieve movement was the movement which stresses people to follow environmentally friendly practices. So the chapter The Ailing Planet, the Green Movement's Role was an article published in the newspaper The Indian Express on 24 November 1994, and it was written by NANI PALKHIVALA. He wrote about the declining health condition of Earth. The Green Movement, which started nearly 25 years ago from 1994, spread so quickly in world history. The world's first nationwide Green Party was founded in New Zealand in 1972. We have shifted, one hopes, irrevocably from the mechanistic view to a holistic and ecological view of the world. It is a shift in human perception as revolutionary as that not to be republished, introduced by Copernicus, who taught mankind in the 16th century that the Earth and the other planets revolved round the Sun. So, here irrevocably means in a way that cannot be changed or reversed. Then, holistic and ecological view means view for the preservation of the environment. It also refers to the understanding of importance of Earth's resources for the use of future generation. And revolutionary means a complete change. So, from some time, our views have shifted from seeing Earth and its resources as irreversible to complete opposite. Now, what our perception is, we now understand that our resources need to conserve for future generation. Earlier, we never used to think like this. Now, the people have started perceiving the resources of the earth in a different way. Now they started realizing that the resources of the earth has to be saved for the future generation. All of you know that Copernicus, he taught mankind in 16th century that the sun and the planets and the earth, it just revolved round the sun, and it was a complete change which evolved human perception. Earlier, the human beings, they never thought about it, that how the movement of the earth takes place. They never knew, they even didn't knew that earth was spherical in shape. Earlier they used to think that earth is a flat land which has a edge, and that's why they were very frightened of moving anywhere around. But Copernicus, he just taught that the earth and the other planets, they revolved around the sun, and that is where the perception of the human being about the earth changed. For the first time in human history, there is a growing worldwide consciousness that the earth itself is a living organism, an enormous being of which we are part. It has its own metabolic needs and vital processes which need to be respected and preserved. Now, the the human being, for the very first time, the human being started thinking, and it became as a revolution, not only in one place but all over the world. This consciousness arose that they started realizing that earth also is a living organism. It's an enormous, huge living organism, and all the human beings are part of it. It has its own metabolic needs and vital processes. Now they realize that Earth has its own metabolism, as every human being has its own metabolism. In the same way, Earth has its own metabolism and important needs which humans should respect and preserve. And it's our duty to respect those needs and to preserve those resources for the future generation. The Earth's vital signs reveal a patient in declining health. We have begun to realize our ethical obligations to be good stewards of the planet and responsible trustees of the legacy to future generation. So ethical obligations means when someone is required to do something, it is our duty. Not now it has become our duty to be good stewards means to be a good manager of the planet, and we should preserve our planet for the future generation. So earth is now like a patient. It has become like a patient whose health is deteriorating day by day. We as human beings are now realizing our duty to be good managers of the planet and to be a responsible trustees to conserve the environment so that we can pass our legacy to the future generation. See, when we got the planet, it was not in such a bad condition, right? Our ancestors never gave us this kind of planet. But what we are doing with our planet, what we are going to give to our future generation. See, we are giving an ailing planet. A time will come then the survival, the the rapid speed with which we are just cutting down the trees and exploiting the resources. Soon the day will come, or we might not be there to see how our future generation are just finding it difficult to survive on this planet. So, what we are passing on, it's a big question mark, and we should start thinking now. It's high time that everybody should be responsible enough to save the planet. So we should now become a very good managers, a very responsible trustees to conserve the environment so that we can pass a legacy to the future generation. And what can be done? The concept of sustainable development was popularized in 1987 by the World Commission on Environment and Development. In its report, it defined the idea as development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their needs. That is, without stripping the natural world of resources future generations would need. So, now the concept of sustainable development. All of you have read about the sustainable development in economics in class 10th. I hope so you have read about it. So, what is the sustainable development? It was popularized in the year 1987 by World Commission. In the report, sustainable development is termed as a type of development. In this particular report, it was just termed as a type of development that meets the need of the present generation without wasting or compromising with natural resources so that the future generation can meet their needs. That means use the resources which is available here, but we should not strip the resources, natural resources of the world, and we should not just misuse them. Because we have to keep those resources for the future generation. So we should whatever basic need is according, which is very necessary, accordingly we should use the natural resources of the earth. In the zoo at Lusaka, Zambia, there is a cage where the notice reads the world's most dangerous animal. Inside the cage, there is no animal but a mirror where you see yourself. So, there is in a zoo in Lusaka, Zambia, there is a cage, and inside the cage, there is a mirror. And outside the cage, there is a notice that reads the world's most dangerous animal, and very with full curiosity, when the human beings you just look into the cage to find out who is the most dangerous animal in the cage. To the utter surprise, the human find himself only, because he look when he looks into the mirror, he find himself, and it's just a very, very, I must say, it is a very grave issue now, very serious thing to think about, that what we human beings are doing to our planet, that now the no more the wild animals are dangerous, but now we human beings are considered the most dangerous animal on earth. Thanks to the efforts of a number of agencies in different countries, a new awareness has now dawned upon. Dawn means begin now. The most dangerous animal in the world. So, this is thanks to the agencies that they are now making the people, the human beings, realize that they are becoming day by day, they are becoming dangerous, because they are somewhere, no, straight away, they are very much responsible for the declining condition of the earth. And each one of us at least can contribute a little to save our planet earth. Instead of thinking why should we, हम क्या कर लेंगे, हम हम अकेले क्या कर सकते हैं, no, each one of us in our own way, and believe me, little efforts can make a very big change. So all of us should know it's high time to think about it and to act upon it now. Only thinking will not work. He has realized the wisdom of shifting from a system based on domination to one based on partnership. Now the human beings have realized that they are not the only one who is dominating the planet Earth. Now we have to share the earth with the other species. There are many more species residing on this planet Earth. But we are dominating the earth, that we are not letting those species to survive on this earth. So now it's high time all of us should start doing something at least. Scientists have catalogued about 1.4 million living species with which mankind shares the earth. Estimates vary widely as regards the still uncatalogued living species. Biologists reckon that about 3 to 100 million other living species still languish unnamed in ignominious darkness. So, according to the scientist, humans share the earth with about 1.4 million living species. This is according to the classification of scientists. Biologists calculate that there are still millions of other species which are yet not classified due to their weakness or due to lack of knowledge about. One of the early international commissions which dealt inter alia with the question of ecology and environment was the Brandt Commission, which had a distinguished Indian as one of its members, Mr. L.K. Jha. The first Brandt report raised the question, are we to leave our successor a scorched planet of advancing deserts, impoverished landscapes, and ailing environment? So, a big question, right? Inter alia means among other things. Scorched means burn the surface with heat of fire. Impoverished means made poor, and ailing means in poor health. So, Brandt Commission was one of the early international commissions who dealt with questions of ecology and environment. He was the one who questioned this, that what we are going to leave for our future generation. And this commission had Mr. Alkija, he was an Indian, as one of their commission members, who was an Indian citizen. Its first report raised a question that we are going to leave a burned planet with arid deserts, poor landscapes, and poor environment for our future generations. So, this was a big question asked by the Brandt Commission. Mr. Lester R. Brown, in his thoughtful book, The Global Economic Prospects, points out that the Earth's principal biological systems are four: fisheries, forest, grasslands, and croplands, and they form the foundation of the global economic system. In addition to supplying our food, these four systems provide virtually all the raw materials for industry except minerals and petroleum derived synthetics. In large areas of the world, human claims on these systems are reaching an unsustainable level, a point where their productivity is being impaired. So synthetics means artificial substance, which is that the substance which are not found in nature and are human made. Impaired means they are totally damaged. So there are four principal biological systems that form the foundation of the global economic system, and this was mentioned in a book by Leslie R. Brown. The global economic prospects, and those four biological systems are forest, fisheries, forest, grasslands, and croplands. These four systems provide food and raw materials for industry, except for minerals and synthetics. These systems they have reached to an unsustainable point where their productivity is now being damaged. And why this so happens? Because of the need of the human beings, their demand has become very high, and that is why their productivity is on the verge of being damaged. When this happens, fisheries collapse, forests disappear, grasslands are converted into barren wastelands, and croplands deteriorate. So, if their demands keep on increasing at such a rapid speed, what will happen? The fisheries they will collapse. Forest, the speed with which we are just doing the deforestation, soon there will be no forest left. Then the grassland they will be converted into barren wastelands, they will be just deserted wastelands, and the croplands will deteriorate. In a protein conscious and protein hungry world, overfishing is common every day. So since the people have become so health conscious, so protein conscious, so now the demand of having fish has increased, and because of this, the overfishing is done every day. Every day it has now become very, very common thing. Overfishing is very common nowadays. Because why? Because people are becoming very protein conscious, health conscious. In poor countries, local forests are being decimated in order to procure firewood for cooking. In some places, firewood has become so expensive that what goes under the pot now cost more than what goes inside it. Since the tropical forest is, in the words of Dr. Myers, the powerhouse of evolution, several species of life face extinction as a result of its destruction. So now in poor countries, forests are being cut down on a large scale to obtain wood for cooking. In some areas, firewood is more costly than food. Many species are under destruction in tropical forest. It is known as the powerhouse of evolution that many different kinds of species they they have evolved in the tropical forest, but now since we are cutting them down at a very rapid speed, soon they all the species will face extinction. There will be no species left with. So now only we have to stop doing all this, destroying the forest, the fisheries, and the croplands. It has been well said that forests precede mankind. deserts follow. The world's ancient patrimony of tropical forest is now eroding at the rate of 40 to 50 million acres a year. The growing use of dung for burning deprives the soil of an important natural fertilizer. The World Bank estimates that a five-fold increase in the rate of forest planting is needed to cope with the expected fuel wood demand in the year 2000. So, precede means come before, all of you know that. Patrimony means property inherited from father or ancestors. Deprives means prevent a person from using something. So, forest and deserts come first in order in comparison to human beings. Right? Forest precede the mankind. So, first forest come, then comes the mankind. The ancient inheritance of tropical forest is constantly wearing away at the rate of 40 to 50 million acres a year. It's a huge thing if you really sit and think about it. Also, the burning of dung is preventing the soil to become a natural fertilizer. To meet the need for fuel wood demand, there is a need to increase the rate of forest plantation by five-fold by the year 2020. Now it is 2021. We have to increase it more. James Smith, the president of the World Resources Institute, said the other day, we were saying that we are losing the forest at an acre a second, but it is much closer to an acre and a half to a second. So, James Smith, the president of the World Resources Institute, he said one day he said that we are losing the forest closer to an acre and a half to a second. Every second we are just losing acre and a half land. Just imagine. And if we are not going to stop these things right now, my dear children, all of us will be in a grave danger. Not only us, but we are putting our future generations also in a dangerous. So whatever little effort we can do to save the planet, that we all should do. Just simple things like tearing the pages and throwing in the dustbin, using to play in the classroom. Now these days the classes are not going on, the schools are closed, but still just tearing the pages, writing anything, throwing in the all these small things we can do to save our planet. And believe me, a small change can make a big difference. Take a little effort of ours can make a big difference. So don't think so, मैं ही क्यों, ये मेरे करने से क्या होगा, हर किसी के करने से, each and every one's contribution will definitely make a big huge change. So rest of the chapter we will continue in the second video. Till then, please go through the chapter. Now, as you all very well know that now you will be giving your annuals in the school itself, so start preparing from now. No cheating, nothing. Till then, have a great day. Bye bye.